Welcome to True to Blueprint. If you have a video camera, you know if you leave it open too long, it goes, the power's gonna go off now. Can't help it. Nothing we can do for you. So Mary decides, let's see if I can push the record button during that. Neither of us knew if it was gonna start or not.
And it worked.
It worked. It worked. Char, she loves the Ted Lindsay. It was my birthday on December 6th.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're how old?
62.
Still breathing. That's
Molly.
a good thing.
I didn't think, 62 is like, I thought I'd be decrepit. I blame Paul McCartney. Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? I'm like 2 years away from having that life. Seriously?
Well, how old was he when he wrote that song? It was
30.
a pipsqueak.
He's in his 30s.
What did he know? And people that were 64 back then were like 84 now, so.
Oh, he's old now.
What I'm saying is our standard of health care is better.
Oh, yeah,
so a
absolutely.
64-year-old doesn't look as decrepit as they did back when he wrote that
and
song.
we're Americans, and we don't go to the doctor like because it's okay to do because like it's a right. We actually have to like save our money to go to doctors. All right, no, we're not. Look, Charlotte knows the truth. We've played games where we played fine and we didn't win. And then we played games where we played crummy against Carolina, for instance. And we did win. And then we played a game against Tampa Bay, a nearly flawless game. But I guess Vasilevsky felt it was the night for him to do otherworldly things. Like I said, there's this one where he's spread eagle facing out toward the center ice. And with his toe, he grabs it just as it's crossing the goal line. The toe, the toe part of his skate blade. I mean, you cannot feel that. What the hell was going on with that? So it doesn't matter. But you do have to find a way to win. Then last night, I don't really know who this team is. My dad bought me this. This is Ted Lindsay. They're always, harassing me. But he was my friend. He's a nice guy. I haven't seen him in years. He still goes to my mom and dad's church. Everybody goes to church together. Ted Lindsay, the Catholic. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not anymore. I don't know. Maybe they changed the rules. The team he was on in 1956, which is the year I was born, which is why my dad got me this. This is called the Sharpshooter. He had a particularly good offensive night, and he kind of took aim at everybody. Probably in Montreal, I would imagine, because it was pretty much Detroit and Montreal through the whole 50s. It's signed. It's wonderful. I mean, I didn't even notice this wasn't real. Okay, I thought this was a plaque. But Charlotte keeps rubbing her face on this and turning it like this. It's like, Ted had dropped the gloves on Charlotte, I'll tell you that. 5'7", 180 pounds of him. Which brings us directly to our Shakespeare quote. And he's going to come up later, too, because that was a team that had an identity. You knew them from the Montreal Canadiens if they all showed up in black sweaters and played in the same uniform. They would have known each other by the style of hockey, by everything that they stood for. They were teams in those days made statements. I mean, this was a golden age. You really can't do better than that, And nobody expects that crap to last. Boy, you look nice today. Your hair looks real good, too.
Oh, that's what I get for not washing it for a few days.
Sometimes, as you get older, you don't get all that oil and all that crap, so you just go, hey, it looks good, I'll leave it.
I'll spray it.
All right. Shakespeare quote today from Othello, okay? Which when Othello is telling you this stuff, you got problems. That guy's crazy. Although I enjoyed watching him kill everybody, and then his wife going, oh, now I'm crazy, even though I tried to get him to kill all those people. Started the whole damn thing. All right.
Girls.
Yeah, for real. Were it my cue to fight, I should have known it without a prompter. Okay? That's a message for hockey. If your job is fighter, then you're not a hockey player. If your job is tough guy, then you're not a hockey player. If you're a tough hockey player and everybody who plays hockey should be tough, this guy, 5'7", 170 pounds soaking wet, Doug Gilmour, all kinds of people. Even Wendell Clark, not a giant man. A little more bulky, but still relatively short. Shorter than me. Or about my height, I think.
How
Maybe.
tall are you, or were you at your
Well,
height?
I mean, I'd be
height?
wearing heels, so probably 5'11" with a modest heel on. So, right at that same. And.
So if we go by my standards, when you take your heel off, you're 5'2".
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's not really though.
No,
You're
I'm
5'8".
not. 8, shrinking.
Okay.
Was 5'9". Then all of a sudden, stupid aging tricks just took well, it was like 7/8 if they're doing it exact. Like, who cares?
But anyway, we digress.
We do digress because you guys are gonna hate me. I mean, this is the hardest thing about this. Everybody look. I can get a group of people in the sacred hockey group that is the NHL 1960 to 1979. I love this group. It's the only thing on Facebook worth going there for. And those people would be seriously angry with me when they hear what I'm going to say, which is, I don't believe in enforcers. I believe fighting should be permitted in the game. I don't like a lot of rules about it. If you're 2-on-2, all the people who want to pair off and fight can do that anytime they want to do it. But I don't want people hiring people to be fighters. I want hockey players. When push comes to shove, even the best hockey player enforcers, we're still enforcers first. Still to look out for someone else. That's not life. I can have people who care about me and look out for me, but ultimately when I go out there, something's more likely to happen to me if they think there's somebody that will fight with them. If somebody wants to do something violent, they can get in a really good fight if I'm out there with my enforcer big brother. My brother's my little brother. He'd shoot him first. I mean, there's no chance Jeff would be in the fisticuffs at this point in his life, but
well, it goes along with the law of attraction that if you're looking for a fight, you're going to find one.
Exactly.
So if you've got a bodyguard with you, it's more likely that bad things are going to happen.
Unless everybody is going for you, and then in which case, whatever you need to protect yourself. But that is not, you make that cycle happen, you see. And it starts with Gretzky. It starts with Gretzky's lack of ability to be tough enough to play hockey. I'm sorry. Oh, Wayne, I love the things you do, but you didn't bounce. You weren't Mitch. Mitch is out there like a Gumby. That's what I realized. Mitch is like a Gumby. He's like, you can stretch him this way and that way and this way and that way and, bend him over backwards. He'll even slide down the banister. Wasn't that one of the things Gumbies did? And he's apparently going to be fine. He stays in good condition. He knows what his limits are, and he's tough as nails. Gretzky had to have Semenko. Gretzky had to have McSorley. And neither of those guys were really good enough to play in the NHL. I mean, McSorley had his moments. I'm not sure about poor Dave. But this keeps happening.
So did you ever see those guys on the ice if Gretzky wasn't on the ice?
They'd take their turn. But no, mostly they were there. Just like Tom Wilson is there to protect Alex Ovechkin, who doesn't need protecting. We're talking about giant men. See, Gretzky was at least small. He was like Mitch small. I mean, they were almost exactly the same size. Gretzky was a little bit taller. Mm-hmm. And I think...
What is that, 5'11"?
Okay. Between 5'11" and 6 foot without their skates on, because then we know they become 7 foot. Those skates, man, elevator skates. No, but I'm just teasing her.
She's very good at making fun of me. Ow, you're mean. There we go. She is your protector.
No, she's not. She attacks me.
She's just a mean girl. That's all.
She is. She is. We live in a violent world, and Charlotte. But Charlotte knows Charlotte has to take care of herself. She's not waiting. If some cat comes along and picks on my beautiful TV star cat, there's not a bigger cat coming to fight Charlotte's battles for her. And I know, they'll hurt our guys, our fancy figure skater guys. What are figure skaters playing hockey for? None of this makes any sense to me. Nor does it make sense. You're reading me about these guys. They weren't always enforcers. Of course, someone on the Maple Leafs will become an enforcer. No, not going to happen. Because we have hockey guys, and usually there's a very small amount of guys who can actually fill both bills. And like in the instance of Cam Neely, he came in pretty much as his job was to beat people up. When he went to the Canucks,
You used to love Cam Neely.
well, and he became a hell of a hockey player.
Okay.
He was a great hockey player. And so when somebody pushed him the wrong way, he definitely was willing to fight. I know. There's guys who aren't willing to fight. You know what we call them? Oh, see, now Charlotte's going to leave. Because she knows what we call them. Putties. Putty cats, okay? These guys are not to be taken seriously, in my opinion, okay? If you do something and someone says, okay, that's enough, Buster, we're going to fight, all you have to do is hold on to each other, okay? Grab each other's sweaters and pull them over each other's head. There's no real violence necessary. But when you bring in these big guys who really fight well, aren't you saying that you're putting a hockey value on fighting? So much so that you have to bring people in special to do it? I just can't agree with that.
What is Babcock's take on?
Babcock doesn't want you to be pushed around. And of course, he's going to parrot. I mean, you're talking about the union here, Mayor, who has honored these enforcers with, oh, he's a very valuable enforcer.
Right, and we talked about how it went back to Gretzky.
Right.
This book talked about it.
And it's, so he says things like, well, you gotta get out there and take care of things. He's never said we need to get someone. He says we gotta get tougher, and we do have to get tougher. But hockey is hard. Hockey involves smacking each other around and smacking each other's sticks and grabbing each other's arms. And hockey is insanely hard and tough. And you have to be tough to play hockey. If you get
high heel skates, no less, according to me.
Especially the low spark of high heel skated boys. Yeah. Sorry, well, let's get back to that rock and roll. But that's what I'm saying. I don't want you separating out stars, and I can get a hallelujah from everybody for that. We don't want stars to just be set aside, not have to play hockey. But you let these guys who fight well do it, and then aren't you basically creating a situation where you're paying someone to fight, so don't they kind of have to? And if a guy has to fight another guy, and the only way to do it is to hurt the star or to look like you're gonna, I guess that has to happen too. Do you see where we're going with this? You're descending into madness. And hockey, the pressure on hockey to get rid of fighting is immense. It's all about girls and, well, it's not okay to hit us, but they're going to call that unfair, so nobody should hit anybody. Nonsense. And please don't even get me started. Somebody told me this week.
We should get some stats about the female.
Well, they don't allow fighting.
They don't?
No. They just recently allowed body checking like the last 15 years. Mm-hmm. Which is...
So it's a very different game.
It is a different game, but I'm not going to say that girls don't play tough. I've seen them play like in their own pickup leagues, real local, and oh my God, that can get like brutal. And they don't have that rule, but organized women's hockey does not allow fighting. Just like organized Russian hockey. You get thrown out of a game, you fight. Not in much trouble, but, the idea is that it's not okay to fight. Because they saw this. You go down this path, and you start to glorify fighters because it's good entertainment. Hockey...
So they're looking at the bottom line. They're looking at how much money they can
Yes, but in the meantime, you've got a nation of crazy Maple Leaf fans saying it's fixed, Gary Bettman's in control. And this week I heard something about Soros, who I had to look that up. That's how little I let that crap into my life. Apparently he's some kind of rich guy who likes lefties. I don't know. None of it means anything to me.
Is it a sexy thing you're talking about?
No, Soros. George Soros. Okay. He's a contributor to crazy left-wing cause. I don't know. These aren't my labels.
Okay.
These aren't my labels. Okay, this is what I'm being told.
Okay.
And he collaborated with Nazis. Okay, because that's natural. That'll happen right away. And they collaborated to create the women's overstepping of their political correct generation, or as I like to call it, mommy don't like free speech. It doesn't look good to the neighbors. Okay. Mm-hmm. It makes people feel bad. Yeah, they feel worse when you tell them you can't talk that way. They feel worse when you say you have no rights, because your rights, we took them. You wanted peace. We took your freedom. Don't say you want peace. Peace is for your mind when you go to sleep at night. Peace is for when you die. Okay? Any other time, freedom is the only way you can get peace. And giving up freedom takes away any opportunity, which also cracks me up, because these same people say, what do we do about it? Well, you resist. Like with the midget hockey player thing. What is the problem here? Little people are no longer called midgets. So midget's just a word that indicates in a slang way a smaller version of regular people, okay? And that's exactly what midget hockey players are. So is there some confusion that people go to a hockey game and expect to be at the Wizard of Oz? Or is there some problem with the Wizard of Oz might break into a hockey game?
That would be fun.
I mean, I don't get it. At some point you're saying, okay, those people were born that way. And to me, being born that way is different in terms of political correctness. So if they want to be called little people, if they want to be called purple polka dotted ponies, I'll do it. That's them. They're defining what they want to be called. But not at my house. At my house, talking to you, I might refer to them as midgets, but they're not there to be pissed about it.
Right.
And
I know exactly what you're talking about when you use that word.
And am I saying that I don't like these people and that somehow they're just, and it's the derivation of the word. Jesus Christ, you people can do a lot of research when you want to be pissed off. You can do absolutely none when you're trying to make things okay. Then you're stupid. Then you're, oh, the world is going to hell. Really? So what happened? Meteor from space come down, make political correctness? No, you did it.
Yep.
You did it. You let it happen. Every time you sing the anthem in Canada with those screwball words, you honor the insane thinking that went behind changing it. Every time you let this happen to you, you're doing it to you. Do you know what Ted would do? Kick your ass. Okay? And to me, that's what I said all week, wasn't it? It's time to kick mommy's ass.
That we're probably going to get a little political.
Well, you know, and this is, you know, I want to do it this way. I want to talk about the fact that I can be totally in favor of masculinity and see enforcement as basically a girly thing to be. No, not for the enforcer, but his life is a wreck.
Well, we related it to real life as well, and I talked about how in my last marriage, I married somebody that I thought was going to protect me, and he actually became my jailer. So these things do not work out well.
No.
In the long run.
And I caution you all to stop looking at things the way you expect them to be. And start really looking at them. And saying, you know what? Because it happens to me every day. I go, oh, wow, why didn't I see that? Mm-hmm. Because people use labels, they use words, they use songs, they use dances to change your mind. Mm-hmm. Now, you're very weak if you let this happen over and over again. You need to resist that. And I understand people would prefer to be weak, but to me, just like Gretzky, preferring to be weak is saying it's someone else's fault if I don't succeed. I wonder how Gretzky does if he gets treated like Sid Crosby. And they say they got an enforcer for Sid, but they really don't. They brought in Reeves, but the fact is, nobody really wants to fight Cindy, okay? I mean, Cindy doesn't want to fight anybody, and there's a lot of toughness on that team. This is what I'm talking about. We can be tough and not bring in someone whose job description is, like you said, there's 3 reasons to fight. The guy, I don't like how he's looking at me. Okay, that's a great reason to fight. That, I don't like how he hit me. I don't like him continually cross-checking me. Go Zach Hyman becoming that big guy who just says, no, I'm not taking that. And that's fine. That's hockey. However, once you bring somebody in looking out for your little brother, your little brother, why are you letting your little brother play hockey? I mean, if you really care about him, you're not going to let people run after him with sticks and start clobbering him on the head.
If he can't handle himself.
Exactly. And then nobody touches our star. Like I said, you're asking that star to be touched to create a form in which these people can go at it. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. So what are you saying? That fighting is more important than hockey? Because obviously scoring is more important than hockey, but at least it's part of hockey. And they won't take it out of the game. Oh my God, if they stop keeping score.
Oh, that was in that movie I watched too, where the little kids were playing baseball and they couldn't keep score, and they could get as many strikes as they wanted in order to hit the ball and get on base. It was very scary.
Well, let's not even give that movie credit for existing. It might be very funny. I'm sure people...
Parts of it were funny.
People who saw it will know. But it's just, you can't keep saying that you're going to enshrine people whose job is totally to kick people's butts, and then they're going to need work. Their job is kick butts. Production for use. All you Canadians are all socialist and everything. Oh my God. I probably won't live after this episode. Look, I love Canada. I do. I'm just over across the river from you, and as the years have gone by, I used to be able to drive over there. You guys used to play radio stations, get music. We'd have all kinds of crap from Canada, and then Canada said, yeah, they're not paying enough for it. So I got an attitude, but it's not about the people I love. I love the fact that Canadians don't usually think, I need somebody to do that for me. They usually do it for themselves and for each other. So where is that? Where is the idea that 5 guys get on the ice, each of them have a goalie to protect their baby, and they're out there trying to invade the other people's house and, attack their baby. I don't know why they attack babies. It's one of those rough coaching metaphors. What was the other one I had earlier? That having an enforcer on the ice at some point is like leaving a gun in a room with children.
In order to protect them.
In order to protect them. Okay? You're saying this thing, which is really just built to fight. When you come to some of these guys, that's all they do. And, they're good skaters, but they grew up in a cold environment and they learned how to skate. And then they learned how to fight. When you do this, that's just a roving weapon that anybody can manipulate at any time to do whatever they want with a game. Why do you need that extra dimension? I've seen only descriptions of forwards and defensemen and goalies. I haven't seen anything in there about a fighter.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the team continues to do, because you've been pretty disappointed in the last few games.
Well, not the last few. Like I said, Tampa Bay...
They lost 3 out of 4.
They lost 3 out of 4, and they played 2 of them well enough. Well, it's just difficult. I'd say...
Last night you said it seemed like they didn't have an identity.
Right. They weren't like this. They didn't have the swagger, or I remember the Edmonton Oilers, another thing that made me barfy during Gretzky was they do these little coordinated stick dances. Okay, well, it's stupid, but it's an identity. They all had the same freaking mullet haircut, too, including the coach. But anyway, that's an identity. And even if it's obnoxious and stupid, you swagger in there. They're afraid of you. They're afraid of your team. Not the one big guy who might cause them trouble. Because really, is he gonna? He's gonna fight with your big guy, and everybody's gonna go away happy. That does not sound like a good reason to fight. That's why they have prize fights, so the guys who just like to fight and get a big kick out of it can fight each other.
Yeah, but do they do it on ice skates?
No. And yeah, you can grab somebody by the neck of their jersey and hold them and punch them, but for the most part, serious injuries don't really happen. And people say, well, these enforcers keep these little guys from being punched by big guys. What kind of big guys punch little guys?
Let's start a new sport where there's fighting, but you have to do it on ice skates.
Well,
Right? But boxing on ice skates. So let those enforcers go do that. Go do what
but
they're
see,
good
once
at.
you're in the mindset of a boxer, you would probably do things that wouldn't be okay with the skating, because if you
I'm
get
just saying, get them out of hockey. If they don't know how to play hockey, here's another
it's
alternative.
not about
for
getting
you.
them out. They're going to be hockey players. There's pro leagues, and if they're good enough to even be an enforcer on a major hockey league, they're going to play hockey for money. It's not bad money.
Okay, well, when somebody
$100,000
out there in
a year.
YouTube land takes my suggestion and turns it into big money,
They owe
you're
her-
going to be very
No,
sad.
they owe you. We're on the record. Haven't said, not me. I mean, I don't. To me, I just want my game back. I just want my game
That's
back.
the whole point. You want your game back.
Yeah, because it's the way that we're built to win. And stop saying we suck. We don't suck. The guys on YouTube, I call them a disgrace, these people, because they are. When you're already saying we're going to be out of the playoffs in the first round, who the hell knows that? And then the other thing they're all saying, well, in my experience, the best team wins. That makes no sense.
No.
Why would you play more than one game?
I
I'm serious.
I can retire now.
Right. I mean, we were better than Tampa Bay. We weren't better than the goaltender, but we were better than Tampa Bay. We talk about Watson by your Willie. I mean, we had 56 minutes of possession. I counted. I'm sure there was less because I count out of 60. I don't do the whole this is this kind of possession. But I mean, we're talking about domination, okay? Well, that goalie ain't going to be great enough to beat us 4 out of 7 games, maybe not even 2 out of 5. So, to me, we showed something. It's Boston we need to worry about. It's our need to feel that somehow the way Boston is playing just to break up our momentum is how we need to play. And then these not as good teams, Florida, they had to win last night. We did not have to be so sloppy. We came out sloppy. We tightened up as the game went on, and Mitch, 2 goals. Mitch. But his mom was there. She was flossing up in the, doing that flossy dance. It's so bizarre. I just don't understand.
Hey, we're already at 27
Yeah,
minutes.
we are.
Are we almost ready?
Yeah,
to-
I said it was going to be a short show. See, but I told you, you were worried we didn't have enough material.
So I got this out,
All right.
which was helpful.
And we're going to have won a bunch of games when I see you again. Merry Christmas if I don't see you, but I'll probably have an episode out. And Happy New Year. Oh, I'm not supposed to say Merry Christmas. All right. I got to go through the stack of kiss requests over here. You got to get permission to kiss people now. And I've been getting, so I don't have time to worry about the other players. I'm sorry. The world is tough. All right. I will be back. I promise.